Hey, good morning, friends. It is time for our Monday morning clouds and coffee weather chat here. We usually hang out here for 15 or 20 minutes on a Monday morning and recap the past week's weather and look at what's coming on. It's been a very interesting week for us here in Indiana. Yesterday it was 68 degrees and just absolutely beautiful outside. This morning we woke up, it was 15 degrees. The wind was absolutely howling. Wind chills well below zero. So a huge change in just a few hours. At the weather station in Westfield, Indiana, just north of us, just a few blocks north of us actually, we're showing a temperature of 17 degrees, uh, steady winds of 8 miles an hour, gusting to 25, which gives us a wind chill of about 22 below zero. So pretty chilly. Bird feeder has been pretty inactive this morning. We had a squirrel here a little bit ago, but not a lot going on. Everybody is kind of hunkered down. Hope you all are doing well. It looks like we're going to be following this pattern for the next week or so. Going to be back to very seasonable temperatures here in central Indiana. Highs in the low 30s and lows in the low 20s to the upper teens. Those lows are a little bit lower than normal for us. Got a couple of days it's going to pop up into the low 40s, which is going to be nice. And as you can tell, as I kind of pan the camera around, it is just cloudy and gloomy and just absolutely yucky outside. We'll try to get some bird feeder action a little bit later on today if we have anybody show up, because I know that you all enjoy watching that so much. The highest wind gust I can find from last night in Hamilton County, Indiana, which is where we are, is 68 miles an hour, and it sure was howling last night in the middle of the night. Pretty good line, and you can tell it's actually snowing outside right now. Not hard, but you can see a few flakes kind of whipping across the screen there. You can tell by the way the bird feeder, it's got 15 pounds of feed in it, I think 10 pounds of feed in it, and the wind is just rocking it back and forth. Again, right now it's 15 degrees, winds sustained about 8 miles an hour, gusting to 25, so pretty cold here, significant wind chill. Was out with the dog a little bit ago, and it was just miserable outside. And he's acting like he wants to go out again, and I think it's because he saw a squirrel while we were out there. Would love to know what it's like where you are, how you are surviving winter. I go live every Monday morning at 9 a.m. And my dog is giving me kisses at 9 a.m. with Clouds and Coffee. We just talk about the weather and life. And then next Monday, starting on next Monday, I'll be going live at 8 p.m. with a mental health check-in. I'm bringing that over from another platform, and we'll just spend some time together. Those run about an hour. You don't have to stay the whole hour, but we talk about what's going on in our lives, good and bad. We're here to support each other. We're here to rejoice in things that are going good in your life, and to help you along if things are not going so well. It was a pretty significant line of storms that moved through here. We did have a couple of tornado touchdowns last evening in Indiana, in the town of Ladoga, and also in southern Indiana. No huge damage. All damage is huge if it happens to you, of course. Hop down, buddy. Hop down. But we had some roofs torn off. We had some structural damage. No injuries, thank goodness. One of the big weather things was a rare earthquake in central Kentucky last night. Actually, that would be southern Kentucky. The epicenter was around Richmond, Kentucky, which we drove through last week. Measured 3.8 on the Richter scale, and no damage or no injuries recorded from that. And Kentucky does have earthquakes occasionally, as does Indiana, but it's still a pretty rare event. Now you can tell the snow is starting to pick up a little bit. So we went from spring weather yesterday, 68 degrees, to 15 snow and howling winds today. So that's what's going on here in central Indiana. I would love to know if anybody wants to pop in and tell us where they are located and what your weather conditions are. Just gloomy and cloudy. We're not going to see sunshine all week, it looks like, which for folks like me that struggle in the winter, that's really not a very good thing. And for me, I try to keep busy creating art and creating mental health content and creating things that just keep me busy. That really helps me get through the winter. And it has helped. I've had some rough days this year so far, but it has helped me a lot. So don't negate the art of creating something as a way to cope with these winter days that are long and dark and gloomy. I guess the days are short, the nights that are long, and the days that are dark and gloomy. I find the process of creating things, whether it's writing a poem or writing a blog post or making a painting or editing photographs, I find that really, really helpful. And for me, I like to share it with the world. For you, you may not want to share it with the world. Maybe it's something you want to keep private, and that's okay. I am of the opinion that there is absolutely no wrong way to create art. And there is no wrong way to do with it what you create, to do with what you create after you've created it. Maybe you want to keep it private. Maybe you don't want to share it with the world. Maybe you do want to share it with the world. Either way, the main point is that you created something. You might have stepped out of your comfort zone. And I think that is so important for those of us that deal with seasonal affective disorders, seasonal depression, with those of us that the winter is hard on us. Wind is picking up, showing sustained winds of about 13 miles an hour now. That was the wind chill at about 18 below zero, it looks like. So very cold. With it being 68 yesterday, it's hard to adjust when you have those wild temperature drops just, overnight, just within a few hours. My wife and I escaped to Florida week before last and spent 7 days down on Anna Maria Island, and that's kind of a multi-purpose trip. It's my wife's birthday week, and we'd like to spend the week down there on the island. And it's a recharge in wintertime thing for me, and I have found that it has become really, really helpful. I thought about going live last night when the storms were rolling through, but it was dark and I don't have good outside lighting, so I decided not to do that. I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities in the future for some interesting weather forecasts as we march our way through winter. We've had a couple of pretty good snows. We had one snow that was about 7 inches. We had one that was about 3 or 4 inches. So we are ahead on snow totals for this winter season. We're ahead of last year by a significant amount. Most of our snow typically comes late in the year, late in the season. February historically has been our heaviest snow season. Appreciate those of you that are popping in and checking things out. Not much action going on at the feeder. We're going to stay here till the 10-minute mark, so about a minute and a half more. You can tell how gloomy it is outside. Always like to keep the feeders filled up. I had to stop and get some feed yesterday because I knew with this cold stretch coming that I needed to get them filled out. I need to get out in a little bit and fill up the suet feeders again for the woodpeckers. I've got some back in the back room, so I'll get those filled up. Once it warms up a little bit, it's not going to break freezing today, but it is going to be warmer than 15 degrees. I've come to really enjoy these Monday morning lives where I just sit down with a cup of coffee and just kind of ramble on about the weather. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. I've been a weather geek for a very, very long time. And I pop on here live usually a couple of times a week, if not more, if there's something going on at the feeder. I like to share it with the world. That's going to wrap up our time this morning. If you're watching it either live or on replay, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, next Monday night at 8 p.m. starts our weekly mental health check-in here on this channel. And we'll see you soon.